Hi everyone, our journal page, and I'm starting by gluing book pages and all kinds of stuff. I've got here something from a scrapbook paper and some musical notes and something that I've printed a long time ago, just to have some details in the background. You don't have to use this kind of stuff. You can just stamp all over the page as long as you are using permanent ink and not something that will react with water. So I'm just going to start by tearing some pieces and gluing them to my page quite randomly. This was inspired by a video I've seen that just came up in my feed in YouTube. It's by a channel called Heart and Soul Creations. I will put a link below to that video. She made something similar on a heart-shaped canvas. I'm just doing an art journal page, and we'll see. As I said, inspired. I'm not going to do the exact thing. So I'm just gluing pieces randomly and not even trying to keep them in line. Just covering my page. I'm just using a white glue, nothing more. So you can use many things to glue down, and it can be maps, it can be anything you want. Any kind of book pages, magazine pages, just as long as they are not glossy. I'm planning on spraying on top of it, so I needed to absorb the spray. If I'll put something that is glossy, it won't take. So as you can see, I'm just trying to cover and have variation. Otherwise, it really doesn't matter. Just have fun with it. I'm having fun just gluing pieces down. Doesn't take much to to entertain me. I will cut the excess off later. I'm just laying it down. And I'm also trying to have different shapes. Don't want anything to be symmetrical and precise or anything. Let's see. Let's put something from this. I was sticking mostly to white and black, but I figured why not use this. Some of it is gonna get covered. Prepare yourself. It's just about putting details in the background. I'm very generous with the glue. I'm gonna pay for it. I will have to wait a long time for all of this to dry, but I prefer it to be all in place, so whatever, I'll wait. Okay, almost done. Let's see. Let's put another one here. And maybe some of the music notes, just to add more detail and to break all kinds of straight lines. You can also put washi tape. Really play with it. Just remember, most of it is gonna get covered, and so you won't get disappointed. And also you can always put something more. Okay, so I've got coverage. I'm going to let all of this dry completely, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is dry. Now I want to add more details. I'm going to use archival ink and some stamps. You can skip it if you don't want to add more details and you already got enough on your page. Up to you. And again, I'm putting it quite randomly. Okay, and some gears. Now, even though this is a permanent ink, before you're doing anything else on top of it, still let it sit for at least 2 minutes. Let it set. Let's see. Okay, so I've got these details, and now I want to stencil, not really stenciling, I'm going to use a stencil with a texture paste. I'm using my own homemade texture paste, half a cup baby powder, 1 tablespoon glue, 1 tablespoon white acrylic paint. Water is, I don't have a measurement, it's more like how I like the consistency of the modeling paste. So I'm thinking I'm going to put this here, and of course I will have left space here, so I will stencil with the texture paste something more. And maybe the spiral is in my way. Let's see if I can do something like this. I'm thinking that I'm going to put it here, but first, before I'm putting any texture paste, I'm going to protect the spiral. Just putting some masking tape here. And let's see. Yeah, I think here. So modeling paste, and I'm just looking to see if it's straight. Okay, let's hope so. So here we go, just going over like this. I'm holding the stencil down, otherwise if it lifts because your page is curling from all that glue, then when you're doing this with the modeling paste, sometimes it will bleed underneath. So I'm trying to hold it in place, and let's hope for the best. Now before I will do more of this in the blank spaces I have left, I need for this to dry completely because I don't want to ruin what I've got. So basically this is it. Whoops, here we go. Now it won't be perfect, never mind. Okay, you see it bled here. I wasn't careful, it bled, and I can a little bit fix it like this before it dries. And I have also here, I'm just going to put the stencil aside and let's see if I can fix it a little, just removing excess that I don't want. Doesn't have to be perfect, but if I can fix it a little, I'm going to do it. Okay, so this needs to be completely dry before I'm attempting to do more stenciling with the texture paste, otherwise it will go on top of this and will ruin what I have. So I'm going to come back when I finish, all of this is dry. And I'm back. So this is dry. Put a towel underneath so I won't make a mess. I'm going to use my homemade sprays. I make them from gel food coloring and water. I don't have measurements. It doesn't really matter. I just put some drops of the gel food coloring with water. I test it, and if it's strong enough, that's great. Not, I add some more drops of the gel food coloring. So sometimes I use these bottles, whatever I can find at a cheap store, and I got some turquoise, some blue, some neon green or citrus green, and some brown. So that's the colors I'm going to play with, and once again I'm just going to spray them quite randomly. You can hardly see the difference between the turquoise and the blue, but it does exist, and it just gives me a little bit more variation in the color. And now I'm using the brown. And it's okay if it's blends, not completely. You want to keep your color, but some of it overlapping is great. So now this green that I think is bringing everything more alive, and just a little bit more turquoise. Now we don't have brushes here or magicals. This is my solution for that thing. So that's what I use, and for all the skeptics out there, I use them for already like 7 years and it holds greatly. I've done, like this one was done 7 years ago, it didn't fade, and it's all just from the gel food coloring with water. So just if you can't get your hands on brushes and magicals and all those fancy powders and whatnots, that's the way to go. And someone asked me if there is sugar in the gel food coloring. Not that I know of. Again, it's something that I buy locally, and it's from a place that sells stuff for cakes and bakeries, and compared to everything else, it's cheap, so it's a great solution for me. So as you can see, I've got here a lot of puddles, and all of this needs to be completely dry before I'm doing anything else. So I'll be back. Okay, so this is dry and I quite like it. Now I just want to make some of the elements more pronounced. Some of them observed the spray too much for my taste. So I've taken this white acrylic marker and I'm just going to go over areas that I want to make stand out more. Nothing else, and it doesn't have to be white. You can use whatever you want, and if you are concerned about being precise, then you can take the stencil again, align it with what you've got, with the texture you've got, and then go over the details that you want. So I'm not going over everything, but I do go on areas that I think need to be a little bit more noticeable. Like if the 12 here that I had in the watch disappeared, then I'm just going to go over it and just think of it of adding highlights. So that's what I'm doing, and like here I've got some where I had spillage of the texture paste, so it's not really precise. So I can also go and take another marker. Let's find a brown one, and I can go over just to make everything a little bit more. Yeah, just play with it. Okay, so a little bit here white, and here. Let's see, I think it's quite enough. Now what I want to do, I want to make take your time to stand out. I'm going to color this with this gel roll marker, a gold one, and I'm just going over the texture again, same way I've done with the white. And I think I also have a gold acrylic pen, but the thing is that it's quite dull. I don't, but I'll use it because it's easier than using the jelly roll pen. It has a softer tip and it's a bit wider than the jelly roll, so it's easier to color this. Okay, starting to take shape, but I still want it a little bit more. Let's see, also here a little bit more white, and I think a little black line maybe, just so it would stand out more. Okay. That's the door. Okay, little bit more. Missed. Never mind, going over with the gold. Yeah, I think, yeah, now it's more noticeable and I like it. Just finishing doing some correcting in places that I don't like or that need a little bit more, but otherwise this is it. Taking a step back and yeah, maybe just a little bit on the numbers. Okay, this is it. I'm leaving it as is. I hope you can see what's going on here, why all the gluing of the paper underneath and all the stamping, just so you have all these lovely details picking from underneath the sprays. And the use of sprays, or if you have any other thing that is translucent, that's the way to go, because then you can pick all these lovely details. So this is it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.